bit of an embarrassing episode for me, just on the basis that we are going to spend some time talking about my top failed auditions, like the top auditions that I've had in my career that I just kind of went in and then left going, what the hell? And some of it was down to me, and some of it was down to the people auditioning me, and some of it was down to just circumstance. But we're going to talk about the auditions that were either incredibly embarrassing, that just went just epically wrong, the ones that were really cringy, the ones that I really didn't enjoy and felt incredibly uncomfortable in, because they happen. I have had the pleasure of auditioning in this industry for about a decade now, and throughout that time you're never going to have auditions that are absolutely perfect. You are never going to have auditions that you boss every single time, that you get the job every single time, and they're not always just going to be normal and mediocre. Sometimes you're going to fall flat on your face. Sometimes you're going to do things that just don't work, and you're going to mull them over for weeks and months and years and think, oh my god, how could I be so stupid? How could I have done that? But the thing is, we all do it. So hopefully me sharing this will make you feel not so alone. Because I think those kinds of things are worth sharing, because it demystifies this assumption that there are some people that just get everything right and there are other people that just fall flat on their face, when in fact we all experience a mixture of both. So here we go. Here are my embarrassing audition stories. So coming in at number 1, I auditioned for a horror film, for a feature film, years ago. Oh my god, years ago. This was back when I was living in London, and I was sent this audition through with the sides and everything like that, probably about 20 hours before the audition was supposed to take place. It was less than a day to learn. I think it was 3 scenes and a bunch of sides, and I was like, okay, that's a lot of information. Fine, okay, we can do that. Trouble was, I was not at home. I was actually in Nottingham seeing a show the day before, along with being incredibly hungover. So, because I was away from home, I had no access to a printer, and I always learn dialogue a lot easier, a lot better, when I actually have a physical copy of the script in front of me. It just goes into my head a lot easier. I kill the trees, but I learn the lines. So eventually I get home, I print everything off and I start learning it, but I'm still feeling absolutely rotten from the day before. I do my best, I get some sleep, get up the next day, go over it a little bit more and go to the audition. And then of course you go into the waiting area with a bunch of other actors that look exactly like you. Really kind of gets you right in the self-esteem that you just kind of go, oh yes, I am just a number after all, aren't I? Fun stuff. So in the waiting area for a little bit, then it's my turn to go in. Fine. I go in and I don't even get a hello from the casting director. I don't even get like just a regular human greeting. What I get is this guy saying, oh, so you didn't even learn the dialogue then? I was like, what? It's because I had the physical copy, I had the sides in my hand as I walked into the room. It's because I was going over them when I was in the waiting area. So immediately I'm on the back foot going, no, I am off book, and hello, nice to meet you as well, friendly man. So that's how the whole thing kicks off. Brilliant. Then the next thing, he wants me to do my ident, which if you don't know what an ident is, it is basically just a little piece to camera where you look at the barrel of the lens, you say your name, the role that you're auditioning for, and who you're represented by. And some circumstances they might get you to do like your profile so that they can see your face and your hands and all this kind of stuff for kind of commercial reasons. But he wanted me to do my ident in the accent of the character that I was auditioning for. The character was Texan, so he wanted me to do my ident in a Texan accent. And it's hard enough saying Louise McMenemy in my own accent, let alone in a Texan accent. So again, I don't think that really worked in my favour. Yay for me. And then I proceed to do the scene without the sides because I'd learned it. And I was doing it with the casting assistant, who is this like meek little mouse of a woman who kind of reminded me of like a little whippet dog if it had been left out in the rain for too long. She was skittish and scared. And the note that I kept getting given by this casting director was, yeah, get in her face, you know, give me more, bigger. And I was like, I am terrorizing this woman and she looks like she wants to be anywhere but here. It was just a really uncomfortable experience, along with the fact that he didn't think that I was worth the time that he was allotting to me because I hadn't learned the lines even though I had. And I was just like, oh, this is just an awful experience. So then you go out into the waiting area again and you're just like, oh, I just feel crap. I just feel, bleh, this is minging. So I give this experience a 3 out of 10. It wasn't great fun. It could have been better. I didn't do anything awful, but the experience itself just made me feel a bit ugh. Then, number 2, awful audition experience. I was auditioning for a commercial and my agent called me and said, okay, well the job is that you are going to be quite literally thrown out of a plane and you're going to skydive and they're going to film you as you skydive. And I was like, that sounds amazing. It's something that I want to do anyway, and to get paid to do it and do it as part of a job. It's a win-win, absolutely, I'd love to, sign me on. So I go along to the casting, and a lot of the time, commercial castings, they don't issue you a script or anything, you just kind of turn up on the day and they give you a bunch of stuff to do and you just improv. So that's what I was expecting. So I just kind of turn up knowing that I'm gonna roll with the punches. Again, a hallway full of people that look exactly like you, making you feel like you are not the individual snowflake that your parents brought you up to believe. And then I sit down in the waiting area, and from the casting room, all you hear is screaming. I was like, everybody's screaming, why are they screaming? And it's just one kind of conveyor belt of people, one after another, going in, screaming and then leaving. I was like, okay, well, I know what this is. They're going to be getting you to actually kind of demonstrate what it would be, how you would behave if you were skydiving. Brilliant. So then I go into this studio, and it is huge, it is massive, and there's only 2 people in there, and there's a big red X on the ground where they want you to stand so that they can film you as you scream. So I stand on my little X, and they're like, yeah, so we just want to see what you would actually do if you were skydiving. I was like, brilliant, okay. So then you just proceed to scream and flail your arms around with your feet planted on the floor, trying to kind of imaginatively leap, no pun intended, to what you would do if you were skydiving. So you scream your heart out for about 30 seconds and then absolute silence, to which you then just get, okay, thank you. And like an object on a conveyor belt, off you go. There's really nothing that makes you feel less important than just a very clinical, thank you. And then off you go. Ugh. I give this experience a 5 out of 10. It wasn't horrendous, but it really does make you think, God, I do this in order to try and get paid for stuff. This is shite. And then number 3. Audition number 3, and I think this is by far the worst audition that I've ever had in my entire career ever. I get a call from my agent saying they want you to audition for a musical, to which I immediately go, whoa, I'm not a musical theatre performer, I'm an actor, I can sing, but I'm certainly not West End ready in any way, shape or form. It's just, it's not what I do. I have so much respect for the people that do it. I have friends that perform on the West End, and you go and you see them, and it's mind-blowing what they are capable of doing. And I ain't that. I've got my strengths, and that's not one of them. But my agent reassured me, no, in the brief, they're actively looking for actors who sing rather than singers who act. They're not looking for West End musical theatre people, they're looking for actors, they're looking for people who are more quirky and more kind of character driven. I was like, okay, well in that case I can do that, that's no problem. I can hold a tune, and if the important aspect of it is the acting, beautiful, let's do that, no problem. I'm like, fantastic, okay, so what they want you to prepare is 1 musical theatre song, fine, I can do that. 1 pop song, oh, okay, not done that before, but yeah, that's absolutely fine. And a joke. I mean, I'm a funny person, but you manifest a joke in an audition room, people then just give you the sympathy laugh. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I can do all of this, no problem. But they're definitely looking for actors who sing, not singers who act. Yes, they are. Fantastic, no problem. So I go to my friend who is a fantastic actor, a fantastic singer, and a fantastic singing coach, and she helps me prepare for this audition. So I prepare my musical theatre song with piano accompaniment, and I'm like, yep, that's absolutely fine. I'm really happy with that. Lots of opportunities for me to act through song and la la la. And then it comes to the pop song, and I'm like, because I'm not used to singing with a piano accompaniment in the moment, I get very, very nervous. I was like, I wonder. So I phoned my agent. Why did I do this? Phoned my agent. I was like, usually when I sing like modern or like pop songs, I do it whilst I'm playing my ukulele. Would there be any chance that I can bring my ukulele into the audition and do it that way? She's like, I'll ask and I'll let you know. She gets back to me, she's like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. They'd be more than happy for you to do that. I was like, oh, brill, no problem. In which case, I have one already at my disposal, and it's something that I feel confident doing. No problem at all, grand. And then I prepare the joke, and I'm very happy with that. Cool. Cut to the day of the audition, I go in, and my God, I am just sweating nerves. This could not be any further outside of my comfort zone if I tried, unless I was asked to dance. in which case, oh, it's hopeless, absolutely hopeless. I find singing publicly incredibly nerve-wracking. So I'm already kind of like, I'm really, really tense, really kind of, but I'm like, no, they're looking for actors who can sing, Make sure that you're just acting through song. We're happy, fine. Go into the audition room, and I'm just confronted with a massive panel of people who are clearly expecting West End standard musical theatre, and I ain't that. And I was like, great, okay, this is going to be really, really tough. This is going to be really upsetting. Okay, we can do this, fine. Bringing my ukulele in with me, of course. I take my music over to the pianist, as you do, and I was like, hi, lovely to meet you, thank you so much. Like, you want to show appreciation to the pianist because you don't want to take them for granted, it's not fair. I hand him my music, and it's all taped together as, very respectful, la la la. And just as I'm about to say, would it be okay if the tempo was just a tiny bit faster than what it says on the page? He quite literally shoos me away. Shoo. He's like, yeah, and shoos me. I was like, I've just been shooed. You just shooed me. Okay. So I stand in the middle of the room in front of the panel who are just kind of like impressed me. I was like, great, okay. And then the pianist starts the music, and it couldn't be any slower if it tried. It was so slow. It felt like it was in slow motion. And I was like, okay, well, when you get nervous, your breath capacity shortens because you're tense, and there was no way that I could untense myself. So I was like, I'm not going to be able to actually sustain these notes because it feels like everything has been doubled because he slowed the music down so much. So I spend most of the song attempting to speed it up ever so slightly, to which he refuses to follow me on that. So then it looks like I'm just not able to follow the music. I was like, for God's sake, okay. So then obviously the acting through song goes out of the window completely. And then halfway through the song, I'm suddenly aware that I have no idea what to do with my hands, and I become acutely aware. They feel like they're giant. They feel like, those foam fingers that you would hold up at sports matches. I was just like, I don't know what to do. And then it's almost like I have a bit of an outer body experience, and my right hand goes, I'll help you out, don't worry about it. And it just lands here, and it just stays there, and I can't move it, and I am singing with my hand just there. I look like a fucking teapot, and I was just like, I can't move it, oh my god. And then eventually the song stops. So that's good. To which you get, thank you, okay, what's your next song? Okay. And I'm like, well, my agent said that you were happy for me to bring my ukulele in. And they just went, what? I was like, yeah. She said that she got in touch and said that it was cool for me to bring my ukulele in to do my pop song. And they were like, oh right, okay, it's not what we asked for. I'm like, we weren't expecting that. And I was like, okay, well, it's all I have. I don't have a backup, sorry. And they were like, oh, okay, fine. All right, well, we'll hear a verse and a chorus then. I was like, fucking hell. It's like you're gonna just allow me some time to sing and play my ukulele. Brilliant. So I fumble my way through that, wanting the ground to swallow me whole. And the real kicker is that I finish and they don't even want to hear my joke. I think that was the joke. I think I was the joke. I was the joke. I was the joke, wasn't I? But actually, the worst part of this whole bloody experience, as I leave, I open the door and I am confronted, right in front of my face, is an amazing actor that I saw on the West End but 2 weeks prior, singing her bloody heart out and impressing the entire bloody nation with her outstanding talent. I was like, yeah, of course. That's what they want. That's what they were expecting. Not this. Fuck. So I continue down the hallway with my ukulele dragging along behind me. And then she walks into the room and all you can hear is, oh, lovely to see you again. And oh, it's blah, 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 laughter and merriment. And I just wanted to die. So then I go outside and I phone my agent and I burst into tears and I demand that I never, ever be sent to do a musical theatre audition ever again in my entire life, ever. And then I mull that over for a good 2 weeks, and every time I think about it, I just want to tear my own skin off. So that experience gets a 0 out of 10 on account of the fact that there were a lot of things that I would rather do than have that experience again. I would much rather shove bamboo up my fingernails. I would much rather shit in my own hands and clap. It was appalling. But there you go. They were my top auditions that I would rather not repeat, and in fact feel somewhat uncomfortable sharing on the internet, but hey ho. But it brings into perspective that we all have those experiences. I have had much better auditions since then, and I have had some mediocre auditions as well. Is understanding that they come in peaks and troughs, and it doesn't matter how much you prepare, because for the third musical theatre audition, I did prepare. I was fully prepared, I knew what I was doing. But my own self-esteem, my self-belief, the environment that I went into, the actual circumstance of the whole thing, what they were expecting, what I was actually able to provide, none of it married up. And you get those from time to time. You just kind of do. So we need to be able to roll with the punches on that one.